Ever wondered why some women seem irresistibly attracted to men who appear indifferent or unresponsive to their affections? It's a perplexing question, isn't it? Today, we're diving into this intriguing paradox of attraction. It's a phenomenon that's puzzled many, yet it's surprisingly common. Women seemingly drawn to men who demonstrate a lack of interest or even outright disinterest in them. Why does this happen? What are the hidden psychological mechanisms at work behind this curious pattern? That's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. We'll delve into the realms of psychology, social dynamics, and emotional intricacies. We'll look at how the thrill of the chase, the value of validation, self-esteem, and even media and cultural narratives all play a role in shaping this paradoxical attraction. This journey promises to be as fascinating as it is complex. So buckle up, because to understand this conundrum, we need to delve into the complex world of human psychology. The thrill of the chase, it's a phrase we've all heard, but how does it relate to our topic today? Well, let's dive right in and explore this fascinating aspect of human psychology. Picture this scenario. You're interested in someone who, unfortunately, doesn't seem to reciprocate your feelings. Instead of being deterred, this lack of interest only fuels your attraction. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's a phenomenon that many of us have experienced, and it's not just a quirk of fate. There's a psychological aspect at play here. You see, the thrill of the chase is a powerful motivator. It's the same force that propels us to climb mountains, explore unknown territories, and yes, pursue people who seem out of our reach. It's all about the challenge, the excitement, the adrenaline rush that comes from pursuing something that's hard to get. It's not so much about the end goal as it is about the journey, the effort, and the struggle to get there. Now, how does this play out in relationships? Well, when someone appears uninterested or elusive, they become more desirable. This is because, as humans, we tend to value things that are hard to get. It's a psychological principle known as the scarcity principle. It's why limited edition items are so sought after, and why we cherish the things we've worked hard to acquire. In the context of relationships, this principle can make the uninterested party more attractive. The more elusive they are, the more we want them. It's a paradox, but it's a real and powerful force that drives many of our actions and decisions. So, the next time you find yourself drawn to someone who doesn't seem to want you back, remember this. It's not just about them. It's also about you and your inherent love for the chase. It's about the thrill, the excitement, and yes, even the pain of the pursuit. It's about the human tendency to crave what's hard to get and how this plays out in the complex world of relationships. The chase, it seems, adds an extra layer of allure. Another psychological aspect that comes into play here is the value of validation. It's that warm, fuzzy feeling we get when someone recognizes and affirms our worth. It's like a pat on the back, a high five to our self-esteem. And let's be honest, who doesn't crave a bit of that? The desire for validation is a fundamental human instinct. It's deeply wired into us, the need to be seen, to be acknowledged, to matter. It's why we strive for success, why we push ourselves to be better. But it's also why we sometimes find ourselves drawn to those who seem elusive or indifferent. Now imagine this. You're at a party and there's this person who seems disinterested, aloof, maybe even a little dismissive. And yet, there's a part of you that's irresistibly drawn to them. Why? Because their validation, their acknowledgement, feels like a prize to be won, a challenge to overcome. It's a little like playing hard to get. The more something is withheld from us, the more we want it. It's the allure of the unattainable, the thrill of the chase. And when that chase is for validation, the stakes feel even higher. Because it's not just about winning a prize, it's about proving our worth. Here's the kicker though. Validation from someone who's initially uninterested or indifferent can feel more rewarding. It's like the difference between finding a dime on the sidewalk and finding a diamond. Both are great, but one is clearly more exciting, more valuable. And so it is with validation. The harder it is to come by, the more it seems to be worth. In the grand game of attraction, this desire for validation can become a powerful player. It can influence who we're drawn to, who we pursue, and how we perceive ourselves. It can make us chase after those who seem unattainable, those who don't seem to want us. The harder won the validation, the sweeter it tastes. But remember, while the chase can be thrilling, it's important to know that our worth isn't defined by others' validation. We are valuable, regardless. Our self-esteem also has a significant role in whom we find attractive. This statement may seem somewhat abstract at first, but when we delve deeper into the world of self-perception, the role of self-esteem becomes crystal clear. Self-esteem, in essence, is our overall sense of worth or value. It's the lens through which we view ourselves, and it significantly influences how we navigate our relationships. Now imagine someone with low self-esteem. This person may have a distorted view of their worth, often believing that they are less deserving of love, affection, and interest. This belief, as damaging as it is, can lead to a peculiar pattern of attraction. The person with low self-esteem may find themselves drawn to individuals who show no interest in them. It's a subconscious validation of their self-perceived unworthiness. If someone doesn't show interest in them, it aligns with their belief that they are undeserving of such interest. This pattern can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The person with low self-esteem seeks out relationships where they feel unvalued, which further reinforces their belief in their unworthiness. It's a cycle that can be incredibly hard to break. But it's important to remember that this isn't a conscious decision. No one deliberately chooses to be attracted to someone who doesn't show interest in them. It's a subconscious process, driven by deeply ingrained beliefs about oneself. How then can we break this cycle? The first step is awareness. Understanding the role of self-esteem in our attractions can be a powerful tool for change. Secondly, working on building a healthier self-esteem can significantly shift our patterns of attraction. This might involve therapy, self-reflection, or even just surrounding oneself with positive and affirming individuals. Remember, our self-esteem doesn't just influence whom we find attractive, but also who finds us attractive. When we value ourselves, it becomes easier for others to value us too. It's a ripple effect that can transform our relationships and our lives. Our self-perception, it seems, can significantly influence our attractions. Our attractions don't exist in a vacuum. Media and cultural narratives significantly shape them. Indeed, the media and culture we're immersed in play a significant role in shaping our attractions. Let's take a moment to unpack this. In movies, TV shows, books, and even music, how often do we see the narrative of the unattainable love interest? The one who initially shows no interest, but eventually, after a series of dramatic events, succumbs to the protagonist's persistent affection. This narrative is a staple in pop culture, from romantic comedies to young adult novels. It's the classic hard-to-get trope, where the uninterested party is often portrayed as the ultimate prize. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? The idea that perseverance and patience can eventually win over the most indifferent heart. But here's where it gets interesting. These narratives don't just exist for our entertainment. They seep into our subconscious, influencing our perceptions and expectations of love and relationships. And they reinforce the idea that the more someone resists, the more desirable they become. It's not just romantic narratives that do this. Think about the classic hero's journey, where the protagonist must overcome great obstacles to achieve their goal. The harder the journey, the sweeter the victory. It's a message that's ingrained in us from a young age, and it's easy to see how it translates into our romantic pursuits. And let's not forget the role of cultural narratives. In many cultures, the idea of conquering someone's heart is seen as a sign of strength and determination. This reinforces the desire for the unattainable, and it's often perpetuated by societal norms and expectations. But as we've seen, these narratives can lead us to chase after those who may not be the best match for us. They can make us overlook those who are genuinely interested in us, in favor of the thrill of the chase. Media and culture, it seems, are complicit in this paradoxical attraction. So, why do some women want men who don't want them? It's a complex question with multifaceted answers. Let's take a quick journey back through what we've covered. First, we dove into the thrill of the chase. Sometimes the pursuit can be more exciting than the catch itself, creating an allure for the unattainable. Then, we explored the value of validation. The desire to be wanted, especially by someone who seems indifferent, can be a powerful motivator. Next, we touched on the role of self-esteem. How we perceive ourselves can influence who we are attracted to, often leading us towards those who mirror our own insecurities. Lastly, we discussed the impact of media and cultural narratives. These external influences can shape our desires and expectations in ways we may not even realize. Understanding these factors can help us navigate our relationships better and maybe, just maybe, solve this paradox of attraction.